Hello everyone, welcome back to IELTS Master. This is video number 43. We are on a path to discover fully the mysteries behind Task 2 in the IELTS writing exam. Today we're going to take a look at something very popular but very useful when you are writing in Task 2. Which. Using which or relative clauses in another way, in order to link ideas together. Now, the idea of relative clause, you must have learned that in your high school, you must have learned that in your university training courses, but have you actually been able to use it effectively? Well, everybody is tired of these relative clauses without understanding that they help to make your language more native-like, more natural. And of course, today we are only trying to look at how to use which in order to organize your information, right? I have this task, read it. A recent survey has shown that people of all ages are losing the ability to perform basic practical tasks and processes at work. What do you think are the main causes of this? What solutions can you suggest? And so, again, before we actually start to write, we need to look at the task and try to understand it. This question asks you to talk about causes as well as solutions. So we learned how to talk about solutions already. We learned how to discuss the effects, the results already, and how to plan your essay and develop ideas as well. Today, we'll see how we can link ideas together. Now, this is a sample paragraph in an answer to that question. I want you to read it and pay attention to the two which. So let's see. I'm going to talk about which. For this first which, what does it represent? What does it replace? Certainly, it is used to replace practical skills, right? Which is used to replace practical skills right here. And so it comes right after practical skills. What about this which? What does it replace? What does it represent? Well, it represents the whole phrase. Workers cannot do basic practical tasks in depth. Which in turn. So which here means that because worker cannot do the basic practical skills in depth, right? That's it. So for now, we have two uses of which. One is to replace a phrase, and one is to replace a whole clause. This is going to be important in your writing. Now, let's say for practice, I have sentences 1, 2, and 3. I want you to connect them. Try to use which. How are you going to survive? Finish? Let's take a look. For the first sentence, we say sometimes computers make mistakes and prevent things happening. This wastes valuable time and costs money. So I'm going to ask you, what is the relation between the two sentences? This one. This here is the relation. This refers to the whole clause. It refers to the fact that computers make mistakes and prevent things happening. So we are going to rewrite it this way. Sometimes computers make mistakes and prevent things happening, comma, which waste valuable time and cost money. Now, when which is used to replace a whole clause, there will be a comma right before it, like this comma. Second sentence, TV programs provide people with information about the world around them. This information is very useful. What is the relation between the two sentences? This information, right? People with information, this information. And so, we're going to use which to replace the word information. What is the answer? It will be, well, TV programs provide people with information about the world around them. which is often very useful. Well, you can actually do this, and in this case, which we can understand that which here refers to the whole fact about TV programs, or which can also mean the information. Alright, so sometimes it's not very clear. What about the third one? Technology saves us more and more time. This time can be used to create more machines. So I'm gonna write something like technology saves us more and more time, comma, which can be used to create more machines. Let's say again, which here actually refers to time, but it can also refer to the whole clause before it. So again, sometimes it's not very clear. The point is, you gotta be able to use which to connect when your ideas are related. Alright? The IELTS examiner don't care whether you know what you are connecting, as long as you make correct connection. Which can be used, which is very helpful, which wastes time and money, you're gonna score points. Okay? Now, I have some more examples for you to do. How are you going to combine these sentences using which? So let's see. The first sentence, the situation has now become more and more complex. It is effectively out of control. So I'm going to ask you, it here refers to situation. And so how do you connect? We're going to say the situation has become more and more complex, which is effectively out of control. Alright? So which here can refer to the situation. It also can mean the whole phrase. So again, sometimes it's not very clear. Well, you can actually say the situation which has become more and more complex is effectively out of control. Well, that could be one way. Number two, the problem is everyone's responsibility. The public blame the government for it. How do you connect? It's gonna be something like the problem is everyone's responsibility, which the public blame the government for. So which here refers to the whole clause, right? And one more thing, when you have a preposition, remember to keep the preposition. It's important to keep the preposition, which the public blame the government for. Last one, the cause of the problem is lack of training. The cause is not immediately obvious to everyone. So it's going to be the cause of the problem, or which is not immediately obvious to everyone, is the lack of basic training. Here we are seeing that which is used to replace the cause of the problem, right? The cause and the cause. And so in this case, we put it in the middle before we actually mention is the lack of basic training. So until now, you see that which is used very popularly in IELTS writing. It can be used to refer to one phrase or to refer to a whole clause. Sometimes the boundary is not very clear, but it's not really important. You just try to replace the idea that you think is important, okay? And that is also enough for this video. We have been talking a lot about using which to organize your information. Review the video, do the exercises that follow, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Video number 44, we'll continue to talk about writing task 2.